Nothing like a nice hot cup of cocoa on a cold holiday war night.
Today, Holiday Wars Jonathan Bennett gets us in the spirit. Real Housewife Dolores Catania breaks down all that New Jersey drama.
It's just we're cut from a different cloth. And Jackie is not like me in a way that I would really want to be much closer to you.
And Paulie pumps us up for the big challenge finale.
Every minute, every second adds up.
This is your reality check.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm Daryn Carp, and with me is People.com writer and reporter and my friend, Dave Quinn.
How's it going?
How are
Hello.
you? You look very jazzed to be here today. I love it.
I am very jazzed because my favorite character from Mean Girls is here, but like IRL, and I saw him backstage, and I'm kind of freaking out
Did you tell him he looks sexy with his hair pushed back?
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously you did, Dave.
I cannot wait.
Your hair does look sexy pushed back, but are you ready to break down our top 5?
Yes, for sure.
Let's do it. At number 5. Unfortunately, we're starting off on a sad note. Ex-husband of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Denise Richards, Charlie Sheen, is honoring late actor Philip McKeon following the news of his death on Tuesday. Sheen shared a touching tribute to Philip on Twitter, calling him a gentleman and an ebullient spirit. Alongside the post, the actor shared a black and white photo of himself with the actor from an episode of the 1980s NBC series Amazing Stories, which they starred in together. News of his death was confirmed to People through family spokesperson Jeff Ballard that Philip died in Texas after battling a long-time illness. Honestly, this is such a sad story to report. It's clear that they have been good friends for years. You know, how should someone deal with losing a friend like this? There's no proper way. I'm just curious what you think.
No, of course. I mean, it's very hard when you go through something like this. I always appreciate when stars are mourning openly and share little stories that they have about the people that we may not know. Even these sorts of throwback photos always, I think, make people feel really nostalgic. But, you know, there's no really easy way to get through this sort of thing. And
yeah, sometimes it's talking to someone or talking to a counselor. You know, everyone goes through loss. So it's like there's comfort in not being alone.
I just try to remind people to celebrate the spirit of what they were and not the loss of what you're experiencing right now, because that's kind of the way that you keep them alive all the time.
Well, absolutely. Again, this is such a sad story. Our thoughts and prayers are with the McKeon family, friends, and loved ones, of course. All right, guys, number 4. During a visit to the Late Late Show with James Corden, Keeping Up with the Kardashian star Kendall Jenner sat down with ex-Harry Styles to rank her parental siblings from best to Kardashian. Although the top model stressed that all of her siblings are amazing parents, Rob ranked in at number 1 as the best parent. The reality star said, "I'd say that Rob is number 1. He's so good to his daughter." She went on to note Rob's close relationship to his 2-year-old daughter, Dream Renee. I gotta ask you, I mean, listen, they're all great parents. Like, at the end of the day, you can just tell that those kids shine. But if you could be adopted by any of the Kar Jenners, who are you picking?
I mean, Khloe is everyone's favorite answer, right? That's what you would
I just want Khloe to be my mom.
Because she'd be like a really cool mom.
But Kris Jenner would make me like famous and rich.
That's the Kardashian that you really want to be into.
Yeah, right? She's not even a Kardashian, she's a Jenner.
I know, but I mean, that's the way to go.
Maybe.
Either way, I think you're good. And I think that Kendall did a great job of navigating this question because, listen, like, Rob is certainly the unsung hero of the group. We don't hear a lot about him, so putting him first
he's out of the
is a good
spotlight
idea.
completely, but of course he's a good dad.
I know, he's a great dad, and I think she put Courtney last.
Yes. Well, number
Juicy.
3. American Idol winner and former coach of the NBC The Voice, Jennifer Hudson, is set to perform Memory from the upcoming film Cats, which she stars in as a character Grisabella. The Oscar Award winner will perform the iconic song on Tuesday's finale episode of The Voice. Fans can get a sneak peek of what to expect from Hudson's voice performance by watching the trailer for the film. Cats debuts in theaters on December 20th, and The Voice finale airs Tuesdays, December 17th at 8 p.m. on NBC. Are you excited or scared? I mean, if anyone could pull it off.
If anyone can pull it off, it's
Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson. She's going to sound amazing. But
yes.
I will pay you literally $1,000 if you can tell me the plot to Cats right now.
Isn't it like just a bunch of cats like in New York City, like just being cats?
Nope, not even a little bit. They're all dead. Do you know they're all dead?
They're all dead?
They're all dead.
I like a cat and I'm a lesbian and I've never seen it. This is bad.
They are all dead and they're trying to get into heaven. Only one will be ascended. Isn't that crazy? So she's going to go out there and all you have to think the entire time she's singing is she's playing a dead cat.
That is not only a spoiler alert, but dark, Dave. Damn.
I fill you in.
Yes, seriously. At number 2. Police are investigating after American Idol star Luke Bryan's red stag was shot and killed on his Tennessee farm earlier this month. The horrifying incident is believed to have happened between the evening of December 4th and the morning of December 6th, according to Maury County Sheriff's Office. Police have shared that an unknown shooter targeted the deer on Bryan's property. The crime remains under investigation, and a reward of $5,000 is being offered to anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of the assailant. The reality star, his wife Caroline, and their 2 sons are avid animal lovers, and their red stag lived alongside a slew of other animals that the Bryans have rescued. I mean, what a horrible story. How are you guys gonna, like, callously shoot someone, especially on someone's property, who's not bothering you, who's not doing anything, and he's living with other animals? I'm so sad by this.
It's really, really terrible. And I appreciate that Luke is somebody who is so vocal about animal rights and like standing up for animals. It's really important here. And it's terrible what happened to them.
I hope the assailant gets caught. That's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, it's bad.
And at number 1, it's been 3 weeks since the news of Gabrielle Union's abrupt firing from AGT, and the drama is far from over. A source close to Union tells People, quote, "It was a very tough week for Gabrielle, but she's doing fine. She's sticking up for what she believes in, but is also open to continuing a dialogue." The actress revealed on December 4th that she sat down with NBC and the AGT production company following reports that she expressed concerns over racial insensitivity and toxic culture at the show, tweeting, "We have had a lengthy 5-hour productive meeting yesterday. I was able to express my unfiltered truth. I led with transparency and my desire and hope for real change." What do we hope this change looks like? What do we hope from all of this?
Well, I mean, some of the things that we had heard in the past that she had been dealing with through reports sounds like they need to be addressed. And it really, from what, this is the first time we've actually heard her talking things through, right? So I'm glad to hear that there's at least conversation. I think you have to be open to change. And NBC could have easily responded to this situation by ignoring it and pretending it wasn't happening, but they really addressed it. I appreciate at least there's some movement forward there.
And I'm glad she's willing to sit down with them. You know what I mean? Like, an open dialogue is best disinfectant is sunlight. The more we know, the better it will be for everyone.
Right, of course. And I can't imagine that she would want to go back to that sort of environment, but I would love to see her back on the show.
Yeah, me as well. She is a force to be reckoned with. Listen, we have to go to break. When we come back, Dolores Catania drops by. Stay tuned.
You're right. You're not my friend because I don't know you.
I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend.
I don't want to be yours either, really, to be honest with you.
I don't consider it a loss, Dolores.
Okay, Jackie.
With us now is the strongest Jersey girl I know, and my girl, Dolores Catania. It's great to have you back on. You're not dating Dave, though, just so I know, right?
No, I am dating a Dave, not this Dave. I wouldn't mind dating this Dave.
I'd be very lucky.
I'm getting jealous on this couch. Well, things got heated at that dinner with Jackie.
They did.
What was it like watching that back? Do you regret sort of how you said anything to Jackie? Do you feel a little remorse about it?
I did. You know, I have a hard time with, like, coddling emotions. And I know Jackie gets emotional about things, and she's not as thick-skinned as she says she is about certain things, and I don't blame her. The way that Jennifer blurted out, well, she's not your friend. Right. I knew I wasn't going to get the chance to explain myself, and I just didn't want to. I mean
damn.
Sometimes you're tired. You know?
Jennifer just threw you under the bus. I mean, I don't think she meant to, but I was like, damn, Jennifer.
No, Jennifer's dangerously ignorant sometimes.
Do you think that's with the tequila, though?
Both. No, in general. And she'll say it. She has no problem saying it.
She didn't mean it maliciously, though.
She did not.
Yeah.
But, you know, how many times can you not mean something maliciously and do it?
Well, were you mad at Jennifer for sort of initially bringing
I was,
up
because you know why I was mad? I own everything I say, Daryn.
Yeah.
If I say it, I'm going to own it. The reason I was mad is because now I have to explain it because of the way she said it.
Right.
And how am I going to explain it now to someone who gets upset about a lot worse than what just happened?
Right, exactly.
You know, a lot less, I should say.
So what is it about her that you don't really
jive
get along
with?
with?
Yeah.
Jive
It's
with.
not that we don't get along with. We have different points of view on a lot of things. You know, when I said she was raised different, I got a lot of backclap for that. Is that what you call it? Backclap or whatever that new word is?
Clap back?
Clap back, that's it.
But that would be you clap back
yeah,
and
we
you're
got
clapping back. This is like a good, this is a
I
Doloresism.
know,
This is a Doloresism.
Yes, so like.
Got a lot of backlash.
Yes.
If you come to my house on the holidays, it looks like the United Nations. I have every walks of life. anybody that was raised any different way could be there. It's not about that. It's just like, okay, so like her parents need an appointment to come over or an invitation and they have to leave at a certain time. My door is always open to everybody. It doesn't make her less, worse, anything. I probably should be more like that.
Yeah.
But I have to get to know her. Just give me a minute, Jackie. Just give me a minute. I do like her. I've seen her heart. I know that she has a pretty good heart. But after a while, I just get like frustrated with just give me a minute to think about what I want, what you're asking me.
Do you think you guys could come to a place where you could disagree without being disagreeable?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm typically like that as adults, but just the way it was like thrown at us to like deal with that. And I was like, and it was on the heels of me like kind of running my mouth about her because she was a little snippy with me on the way to this vacation, but I didn't know why. I found out later it was because of something Frank said that was bothering her.
Right, right.
So I was feeling some animosity towards her, and I don't like that. I like to just know. If I have a problem, I'll call someone and tell them right away.
Right, you want to squash it.
I want to squash it, or I don't, or I'll confront them right away and be like, listen, that was a thing you just said. Like,
right, exactly. Well, you Jersey girls love a dinner, so I want to play another clip from that dinner in Jamaica.
What it comes down to is I can't coddle somebody and have them be upset over things and then carry it on for days.
It's been about like 24 hours, but whatever you want to tell yourself. By the way, there's people at this table who keep going with the same thing over and over and over again. You don't say anything to anybody else.
What do you make of this? I mean, I don't think she's necessarily wrong about the Jersey Housewives holding on to things.
Yeah.
But what's your friendship with Jackie like now?
We were okay by the time we left there.
Yeah.
We were okay. We really are. I think she's funny.
Yes.
I think she's witty.
Smart, for sure.
She's smart, she's funny, she's witty. It was just the way things came about. And I do know there are some things, though, in the past, like I have a little bit of like she had said, like, did she have every right to go at Melissa on that couch? At Teresa on that couch, she did.
Right.
But it's the thing she says, like, call her every word, bad word, but then don't make fun of her lack of education.
Yeah.
Right. That's probably has not been sitting right with me for a long time.
Yeah. So it's going to bubble up.
She has said it more than once. She said people with an education don't swear like the way she does. And that was at a lunch that we had. And I was like, that just rubbed me the wrong way.
That's just an Italian thing.
Yeah,
that's her all the time.
That's just a hot-blooded thing.
Listen, Frank Catania is an attorney just like her, or was, and he's a very bright guy, and I don't think he says 3 words without swearing.
Right.
So it just kind of like, I felt bad about that, but I still like her. I've seen her heart. I've seen her cry over her kids. I've seen her donate to a lot of my charities.
Of course.
You're a forgiving girl.
But again, I like her, and she's like a knockaround girl, like in that way. Like you'll see, she could drink a beer like nobody else.
Oh yeah, and I like that she's like downplaying the whole birthday thing. Like she's like, I just come over and hang
I like that she's loaded.
Yeah, she's loaded. We've learned from you. She's got the most liquid cash.
She has nothing to prove.
Yeah, she's got nothing to prove. She's
And
lucky.
I like her even more when you see us. She gets in an argument with Jennifer, just gonna say, and the way she handles it, I even like her more. I even forget about the education thing.
All right. Okay.
Wow. All right. Well, I want to switch gears for a moment. Watching Teresa's life play out this season has been heart-wrenching. Seeing you, Melissa, and her having some bonding time on the beach was really, honestly incredible. Let's rewatch this clip from Melissa's confessional.
I would never say to Teresa, like, hey, you're not going to end up with Joe. But my gut feeling is that Teresa is going to end up moving on.
It's been really dark the past 5 years.
It will be super hard, but it's also full of possibilities, and I want her to start imagining that.
I mean, I agree. That's a sister-in-law there taking care of her. Do you agree with Melissa? I mean,
do.
No one could blame Teresa for moving on, for sure.
No. Melissa, I agree with everything Melissa's saying. And I remember when I was going through my divorce and I was so devastated and brokenhearted, my mother goes, you have falling in love to look forward to all over again.
It's so true.
And I fall in love every couple of years, maybe more. And
I mean, but how long have we known each other? So not since we've known each other, right? Okay, good. Woo.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel about it. She does have a lot to look forward to. I think the worst is behind her right now. For Teresa, definitely.
And for the girls too.
Well, then there's a whole nother life of dating and thinking you're in love and then things don't work out. And I've been in that game for 21 years.
It's hard
You can
with
help
children.
guide her through that,
And
for sure.
it's funny that now I can help her with that.
Yeah.
You know,
If she listens.
Well, that's
You
a
can only
different
help
story.
people if they listen.
but it's funny. She talked about the fact that the girls are going to go there for Christmas. Do you know how she'll be spending the holidays?
I don't.
Oh, maybe she'll come over. Your
Maybe.
door's open.
My door is open. Well, she knows that, but I will be in away with Frank, Big Frank, Little Frank, and Gabby.
Oh, you're
for
going
New Year's.
away.
David's not coming. No.
Oh, okay.
And Frank's girlfriend's not coming.
Was David invited?
Yeah, like kind of, yeah. It was like, hey, you want to cut? You're working? Oh, okay, no problem.
I love this relationship. This is amazing, Dolores.
That's why I like it.
Oh, Dolores, I love you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Love
I hope to
you.
see you in the new year at the United Nations at your house.
Yes.
Watch The Real Housewives of New Jersey tonight and every Wednesday night at 9, 8 Central on Bravo. Up next, Paulie from The Challenge is joining me to talk about that grueling final. Stay tuned.
My body is completely dead, and I can barely breathe at this point. I'm a little worried because right now, I'm dead weight. My whole body's cramping.
Come on, guys.
Welcome back to the show. I'm so excited. I'm here with Paulie Calafiore from MTV's The Challenge War of the Worlds 2. What's up, Paulie? It's
What
an
is up?
honor to
I feel
be here
like
with you.
I'm excited because
You
like,
are?
I see you do all these interviews and I'm like, she seems awesome. I want to be sitting on that couch next to her.
It's my own little challenge every day. Now, Paulie, you know we have to talk because this season's final looks absolutely insane. And in that last clip, we saw you gassing out, buddy. What's going on? You usually don't gas out. You're a trooper.
Yeah, no, I never gas out. I think what had happened was I miscalculated in terms of my preparation leading up to it. I had planned for the final to be running.
Right.
Puzzles, swimming, all that. A little bit of carrying. I did not expect it to be majority carrying. You don't know what a final's going to be. So you don't know if
Yeah.
it's better to go with a bigger team, smaller team. The heat at that point had completely gotten the best of me. I mean, it wasn't the fact that I was gassing out. It was
Right.
the fact that I had no vision. My kidneys were shutting down. And at that point, my brain switched from finishing to life or death situation. Like,
Yeah, it
if
was no
I
joke.
if I pass out right now, I'm not making it to the hospital because it's 45 minutes away. So something needs to switch on. Adrenaline needs to kick in. Otherwise, I'm not just getting carried off of this jungle in a stretcher. I'm completely getting carried off of this planet.
Wow.
You know?
It was that dire. I mean, I know you're a very mind over matter type of guy, but even
Yeah.
this was clearly the heat was getting to you. Now, not only were you upset with yourself, but Zach was super frustrated with you. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
You wondered why I wanted to keep strong players on this team. Now you know.
This whole season, while Paulie and Cara and their alliance tore our team apart, being terrible in the final is what I was so afraid of happening. We're just a shell of what we could be, and it's very frustrating.
It's slightly intimidating to have Zach a little mad at you, though, right? I mean, he's just massive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't mad at me there. So when he decided to not go 2 in a row, the plan was to have the 3 guys carry every
Sure.
single time. When he decided to not carry, that's when I knew I was gonna be picking up the extra slack, and he was yelling at Ninja and Cara essentially that whole second round while Leroy and I were carrying, because there were points where I had to jump over and grab Ninja stuff and hold it with 2 hands, and I just completely burned myself out. And at that point, then it fell on him and everybody else to pick up the slack for that first leg, and he was not happy that there weren't other people that could carry that weight a little
Right.
less. I mean, showing up to the final and knowing that we had to carry more weight, we all just kind of looked at each other like, man, like that's just a bad luck of the draw, but we got to figure out how to do it. And I chose to be like, if we win, people are going to be like, you're the reason why you put all these people together, right? But
Right.
if we lost, I also knew that I was going to take the complete opposite side of it, because that's what you
course.
do. If you're the captain, if you're the leader of your team, you got to take that. So I put it on myself to pick up the extra slack when he wanted to sit out that second round. And when he's upset at that point, the only thing that I could do is try and keep everybody's mental like at a certain point. But at that point, I was thinking about not dying. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were feeling the heat, but I'm sure you were getting it. Even Theo got on Twitter and had some things to say, tweeting that you were a letdown to your team and you should have quit. Do you feel that way? Like, do you think you should have quit?
You know, I think that everything's subjective. I actually expected Theo, as a former athlete, to at least understand sportsmanship on and off the field. He hasn't really gotten it yet. I mean, rewind the clocks to War of the Worlds 1. Georgia was hands down one of the best runners, if not the best runner going into that final. She had a chance of beating all the guys there. And that's me saying that straight up, no BS. I was her partner in the one competition. She was proven as a runner. She got heat stroke. Right? Done, in the ambulance, asking for bear, right? You can't control what's going on when you get heat stroke. You can control if you're gassing out. You can control your breaths and do that stuff. When you start to get heat stroke and your body temperature has risen over 104 degrees and your brain isn't thinking anything and your eyesight isn't there. My eyesight wasn't there. My body was shutting down. It just goes to show you that people will have comments about me because they know it's going to get them engagement. It's going to get them whatever. I had a lot more respect for Theo until he started making comments like that, only because his best friend experienced the same thing the final before, which was built for runners. Like, this final was not built for a runner, and I'm a runner.
Yeah, you had to be strong and carry a lot of weight on top of being. You could have run 16 miles, no problem.
Yeah, and the problem is, like, when I was talking about like peaking and doing all that stuff, it's because I come into the season heavy.
Right.
In case I have to go into an elimination against a bigger opponent, and then as the season goes on, I cut myself down, lean myself out to be able to run lighter, longer, and all that stuff. So if that's the mindset of how you prep for the final, and then all of a sudden you need to be bigger to be able to carry the more weight, it's almost like I did all that, you know, peaking, so to speak, in preparation and all the science behind it, like with the program, to just then get hit with the complete opposite. It's almost like I should have came in light, bulked up, and it would have been good. So
you never know on the challenge.
That's the thing, is you never know, but the thing is we know. So when I see castmates jump on the train like that, it's almost like insulting, because it's like, look, man, you haven't won a final yet either. Right.
Well, that's true. But it wasn't only you that struggled. Even Cara was sort of having a hard time with the checkpoints after talking a big game all season. We know she doesn't like an eating challenge. What's that about? Do you think she talks a bigger game than she really has? I don't think that's the case. I think everybody knows that Cara, you know, her method to preparation is to freak out until it gets to a point where she has to convince herself that she needs to stop freaking out and just do the damn thing, right? So everybody has a different preparation. She talks the way she does. I mean, she has a resume, right? She does.
The way I talk, the way her and I talk are very different. I talk the way I talk because I come from athletics. So when you're there, you smack talk, right? When you're off the field, you're chilling, right? And I think that was just the method to her madness. She essentially got it down, and that's what she always does. Some people handle pressure a certain way, and others handle it differently. To be able to call out what she's accomplished off of that, once again, I feel as though people take cheap shots at that, because if you're working your way towards the top or you're at the top, that means that everybody else is going to be vying for that spot.
Of course.
That's just how competition works.
Of course.
And I'm fine with that.
The better you are, the more heat you're going to get.
Essentially. So I understand the heat. I understand why people comment on things. The only reason, like I said, why Theo made me upset is because I do look at him like a little brother, because, you know, kind of like a smack-talking little brother, right? Right. But he is a former athlete. And I do think that came from a place of bitterness, not from a place of what he actually feels.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, we have to take a quick break, but more with Paulie on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my God.
I only got room for 4 players for each team.
I'm this close to the money, and now my fate is about to be decided on a puzzle. Come on, Lee.
You guys just won the challenge.
Welcome back to the show. Paulie is still here hanging out with me. How are you holding up, Paulie? How are those snakes, man? Those look a little deadly and poisonous. Is it scary as I think it is?
You know, I mean, who doesn't like to show up to where you're supposed to be sleeping and just have things that could kill you?
Yeah, no, that's
just,
not.
I mean,
there's no other finale for me.
Right.
I needed that.
That's it.
Well, heading into the finale tonight, there are a few people, including you, who haven't had a challenge win yet. Who do you think deserves their first win based on this season so far?
It's hard to say. I mean, every single person who hasn't won a challenge yet has a different dynamic of how this season turned out.
Yeah.
Right? You never know what's going to happen. You could either get thrown into 5 eliminations, 1 elimination, 0 eliminations. Every path to get to that final has been a struggle, and any person that navigated their way to get there deserves that first win. You look at someone like Tori, right? She had to go into 2 eliminations, right? Very impressive wins.
Yes.
Against very impressive opponents.
Against Jenny, that was like insane.
Right, but you guys don't even know the half of it. Like the mental that went into breaking Jenny down before that elimination was brilliant. It was the gameplay of like, you know, we're about to go against each other. It's like, I hate that I have to go against you. You're like my friend. Like it's so terrible. So it's almost like, oh, it's a brilliant tactic. I mean, it's one of those things that wrestlers use all the time. And Jenny was almost at a point where she showed up there. She was like, I don't even want to go do this. You know what I mean? So like, if Jenny had any chance, it was for her to be savage, because Tori is a former soccer player. She knows how to hit, right? And the second that Tori felt like it was down, she's an athlete. Boom, done.
Annihilated.
Broken. You know, you look at Dee.
Right.
I knew she was a beast from War of the Worlds 1. Loved her. Never doubted her. She's fiery. I love everything about Dee. Doubted the entire season. There was so many times where I had to convince people on that other side she is not the weakest person. I said she is one of your strongest players.
And you meant that.
And
you
I meant
trying
that.
to manipulate anything.
100%. I meant that. And plus, like, you know, I get a bad rap for like being untrustworthy and all that stuff. But if you actually play it back this whole season, anybody that was working with me, I ride or die for them.
Right.
That's how I am. If it gets to a final, if it gets to whatever, do what you got to do to win. I'm not going to take it personal. But
were you a little surprised that Rogan, though, threw Dee under the bus as quickly as he did? Or do you think that he thought she was such a strong player and he didn't want to go up against her?
No, I mean, that was a long time coming. Like, that conversation had happened so early. I mean, now both of them started out like talking to each other.
Right.
Like, you know, oh, we're just having fun. It's a fling. Plus, you know, it's good for the numbers, right? You know, so like, they're both sitting there. Like, Dee is so awesome. Rogan, love the guy. And then it turned into them getting a little close, but then it's so hard to stay in it and not let things get in your ear. So if you have people from the other side who are trying to shift control, constantly being like, the weakest, the weakest, the weakest, it's almost like a conditioning thing, like psychological conditioning, right? You have to be very mentally strong to not fall victim to that. And I think he started to break halfway through, and I had to just kind of keep him like, hey, it's all good. Like, strategically, it makes no sense, blah, 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 blah. And then when it got to the point where the conversation was real, I'm like, look, she's not your weakest player.
Right.
Stick to it, right? And you rode her this, well, she rode you, but like, you guys rode each other this long, like, not just in a sexual sense, but like having each other's back.
Right.
Like, let's fucking, like, come on, you know? I think she had an awesome thing. Cam, if you look at her first season, her growth, elimination queen, right? You look at Ninja, her first 2 seasons. You look at myself, my first 3 seasons, right? Every person had their own reason to get that first win, and it would have been monumental for anybody getting that first win.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at, like, Cara and Ashley getting their 3rd win together, possibly CT and Jordan getting their 3rd win together. Like, there's a lot on the line, you know? Look at Leroy. How long
11 seasons.
has he been here? And, like, he's such a good person.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Leroy, and he's a underrated competitor.
He really is.
A beast.
He's been on so many. Well, I actually want to talk to you about a 2-time winner, Ashley. She was here last week, and she had a lot to say, as I'm sure you can imagine, but she didn't leave.
Little firecracker.
Little firecracker,
Little
but she didn't
firecracker.
leave without leaving you a message, so it's time for Just Between Us.
Oh, goodness. Shh.
Hey, this is Ashley. So I have a question just between us. Who would you never, ever, ever want to go in to a hall brawl against?
Ooh.
Yeah, who are you picking?
Man.
Like, who would you be the most scared to go up against? Who do you think would be your biggest competition?
I mean, regardless of how old he is,
yeah,
right? Hands down, CT.
You're gonna say CT? Over Zach, you're gonna say CT.
Hands down, CT over Zach, right? So you gotta understand, like, I come from science background, like with exercise science degree, right? Grew up wrestling my whole life. Zach's body type in a hall brawl situation as a wrestler, very simple. All you got to do is stop the momentum.
Go for the knees,
right?
though, too.
Not the knees.
Really?
You got to stop it at the hips. The hips is what generates the power, right? So someone like Zach, it's all about who gets lower and who can get to the hips faster. So yes, if I stand straight up, Zach's gonna clean right over me. But once it comes to dead weight and we're stopped, then I can use my wrestling skills to then sweep his leg, drive him back, take him down. If he tries to get up, go. CT, if you're in a hall brawl, he takes up the entire wall, right? Zach doesn't take up the entire wall, so I can get my head to the side, get my head to the side. There's no stopping CT in a hall brawl. And the size and mass, once that thing gets moving, you know, the science behind it is not in my favor.
Oh, now I need to see this, Paulie. Oh my God, that's a good point. He's a brick.
He's just a solid mass. You know, like there's two things I would never want to go against CT in, and it's that or reverse tug of war, right? Because the physics aren't in it. Like if it's a balls in, I'm agile, I'm quick, I can get the best of him in that. Physics aren't on my side in both of those things when it comes to him.
That's smart. Well, Paulie, I told the Twitterverse you would be here today and asked for some fan questions, and they made them good, just like you asked. At Paula Paramar wants to know, do you regret pushing Tori and Jordan to Team UK? You kind of created underdogs out of them, really, by doing that.
So I never wanted to push them to Team UK. I met with them early on saying, power squad. Power squad.
Right.
Let's do this, right? What essentially happened was once the heads of the snakes on both sides, so to speak, were cut off, like they pulled their shot on Wes, Laurel went home, Bananas went home. There was a lot of people who were kind of like, what's going on? Who's going to rise up? And I felt like they felt in charge of the one side, which then forced me to then still feel like I was responsible for the other side.
Right.
Whereas if we just logically looked at it and said, what's the worst that's going to happen? Jordan, me and you go into an elimination because the other side finally catches on. If they beat us, it's one of the things where it was never meant to push them to the other side. I wanted them on my team the entire time. I have a friendship with Tori prior to this show. I think they're both badasses.
Did Cara agree with you on that, though? Did she want them with you guys?
Cara wanted them with us, I think, and Tori and I tried to make this work in the game, but Jordan and Cara's distaste for one another, it was way too much. They got a lot of history. Tori and I, we don't have that much history in this game.
Right.
Right? Jordan and Cara got a lot of history. It was hard, and it was tough because then the conversations went with me and Jordan being like, well, you know, I personally felt if we lost on a girls' day, Nani needed to go. He was like, well, Cara needs to go. Regardless of what I thought in the moment based on performance or whatever it is, you're never gonna, it's never gonna happen. Right? And that's just where we got caught up, and that's where everything kind of fell like this. All it would have taken was for Zach, Jordan, myself to just be like, screw the lines, right? Leroy's in there too, screw the lines. We're here, worst performer of the day, goes in, right? And no ifs, ands, or buts, like, here's the rules, so sorry, Jordan, if Tori's the worst, she's gotta go in. Sorry, Paulie, if Cara's the worst, she's gotta go in. And you just deal with it, and then we go after the UK as much as possible. It's, hindsight's 20/20.
It's a tough game.
It's terrible, but ultimately, you never, like we said, you never know what's going to happen in the final, right?
Right. Or
and I had thought that I put together the best viable team to go to the final because we were still winning in spite of everybody going home.
Right.
And even that last challenge, who knows what the outcome would have been if I was allowed to swim against Jordan rather than Ashley and Cara, right? Who wins that challenge? And then is CT able to pull that crazy move?
Right.
Right? And then we show up and we get more weight for having more people. We got to carry it instead of running. you don't know until you get there.
It's like football Sunday. You never know what's going to happen.
Nobody thought the Giants were going to beat the Patriots 16-0.
Twice, baby.
Boom, twice, baby. 2 times on it. Sorry, Tom Brady. I love you. Bill Belichick, I love you too. But the boys got you.
Paulie, thank you so much for being with us today. And I'm excited as hell to see the finale. Everyone, make sure to tune into MTV tonight at 9 p.m., 8 Central, for what I know is going to be an epic season finale. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of the break, we're getting into the holiday spirit with Jonathan Bennett. Stay tuned.
I bet you I can wrap presents better than both of you combined. There's your tape. Let's go. Boom!
Boom! Welcome back. You may recognize him from Mean Girls, but these days he's into the holiday spirit. It's Jonathan Bennett, host of Food Network's Holiday Wars. How are you, Jonathan?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you a better gift wrapper than that? Was that just for
No,
effect?
I'm actually, I mean, that was a gag, because, you know, I love a good prop gag.
You love a good prop
gag. I love a good prop gag on any show. If there's a pratfall, like, I am in. But
wow.
I love a good pratfall. But no, that gag was to be funny. However, my actual rapping skills are still not anything to brag about.
So you haven't learned anything from Holiday Wars?
Nothing.
Okay, good.
Learned nothing.
Well, can you actually break down the concept of Holiday Wars for our viewers? Tell us what it's about.
Oh, well, you've heard of Halloween Wars, obviously. Halloween Wars is one of the fan favorites of Food Network, and Holiday Wars is no different. We take 2 cake masters and 1 sugar artist, and we team them up to create these mind-blowing holiday creations. So it's everything. So you can see there's different cake elements and sugar elements with the pulled sugar that's spun and just gorgeous. They create these death-defying, amazing creations that just blow people's mind. And it's such a fun show because it's something for the whole family. Right? You know,
no one's sad on this show.
No one's sad. It's just filled with fun and love and all the different holiday cheer. And it's something that, you know, parents can watch with their kids, because kids love our show, because it's so, there I am made out of cake. Look
You're
at that.
made out of
I'm made out of cake, yes. I am made out. One of the teams made me out of cake for an episode. So,
yeah, how did I saw that happened? Was that a little jarring?
No, that was one of the challenges they had. I forget what it was exactly, but one of the challenges they made all the judges and me out of cake. And so, you know, I guess that's like a rite of passage. Once you get made out of cake on Holiday Wars,
of
you know, maybe you're like in a Cake Hall of Fame or something.
Did you try the Jonathan
Bennett cake? People that play sports ball, and they get those trophies with the football things.
This is a cake trophy.
This is a cake trophy.
And did you try yourself?
I didn't need it. I don't want to destroy their display. Like, we hadn't judged it yet.
Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure.
I would never. Can you imagine eating your own arm? That'd be weird.
Yeah, it's interesting that you chose arm. I would go right for the face.
Yeah.
How nerve-wracking is it to watch these teams like scramble to make these masterpieces? Are you ever worried they're never going to be able to do it?
It is so stressful sometimes.
You're not even doing it.
I'm not even doing it, and I'm sitting there watching them create these displays that are, you know, 10 feet tall. They're massive. The sugar on it is so delicate and intricately, is that the right word?
That's correct.
Oh, wow, good job. Intricately.
Yes.
Spun and pulled, so it's super delicate. So between the delicate sugar and the massive cake structures that could fall down at any moment, watching this show in person is just as stressful, if not more, than watching it at home on TV.
What happens to the cakes after the challenges?
Well, they eat them.
Do you get to try everything?
Here's the thing. Let me just say, here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I start out at a 32 waist, and then I go to a 34 waist, and then by the end of the season, I'm at a 36 waist on my jeans. We actually change jeans as I go throughout the season because I eat that much cake. Because it's so good. The cakes are exactly how you want them to taste. Like when you're at home watching, and you're like, I wonder if the cakes are good. Yes. There you are. Yes, the cakes are that good.
You're going to get a lot of hate mail for saying you start out at a 32 waist. You know that.
Okay, we know. Okay, fine.
Against you.
Okay, I just want to be honest. I started at a 34, and then I go to a 36. Let's be honest.
Well, you have a parody cookbook out called The Burn Cookbook.
Yep.
Are you a big baker for the holiday seasons at all? And what's your go-to dessert for family gatherings?
Okay, I really love your face smells like a foot peppermint bark. Because what I did was I took the line, your face smells like peppermint.
Right.
And she put peppermint cream
on her
instead
face.
of foot cream on her face. And Mean Girls, Regina George did. So it's your face smells like a foot peppermint bark. And it's a really easy recipe that anyone can make if you have a Mean Girls fan in your life. It's something you can make with the kids. It's something you can make with just you and your girlfriends having fun over the holidays, watching the movie, just like hanging out. It's a super easy recipe, but it's really good and really tasty. And it's something you don't have to think about too much. So that's what I love about all the recipes in the Burn Cookbook is that anyone can make them. They are not recipes that you have to be a master chef to make. They were designed for you and your girlfriends to have brunch, get together, watch the movie, have fun, pour some wine, make some of the drinks from our book because we have a drink section in the book.
Oh, well, that's the section.
And it's called Happy Hours from 4 to 6, obviously. And you can make the drinks from it, and then you can have some of the. It's not regular guac; it's cool guac. You can make some of the guacamole. You can make some of Gretchen's wieners. They're pigs in a blanket. Gretchen's wieners. Get it? Nailed it.
That is so good. What is the most annoying thing people ask you about Mean Girls? October 3rd, cruel.
I mean, here's what I say. It's been 15 years now, and in the past 15 years, there hasn't been a day that has gone by where someone doesn't quote Mean Girls to your face.
100%.
So it's happened every day. So when someone doesn't do it is when it feels like a weird day. And that's why I'm always like, you know what? Be grateful that people love the movie and that it's a part of their lives and that they want to quote it to your face because that means that you did something that affected their life. And that's what we do as artists. We're here to like make people have a feeling and to feel something and to do something with our art. And the fact that this movie has defied the laws of time, space, gravity, everything, and has just gotten bigger and bigger every year, like that's a blessing. Like we're part of something that is part of their lives. And that's why I made the book because it's in the movie we all say you can't sit with us, right?
Right.
You can't sit with us. That's a big, you can't sit with us. That's a huge thing in the movie. So I wanted to make a thing where we bring people together because the movie's about people sitting apart from each other. So I thought, why not make something that brings people together, have them all watch the movie, relive some of their favorite moments, just kind of, take a trip down memory lane and nostalgia. And it's a feel-good movie. So it's something that people can do together for fun, make food together, and just have a good time. And there's games and quizzes in the book.
Wow.
So there's like, remember the old Cosmo quizzes that were does he like you?
Yeah.
And you're like, circle yes. When he sees you, he runs for the hills. B, he puts his arm around you. Or
really
C, he makes out with you. You're like, A.
Yeah.
So we have one of those, and then you can figure out which mean girl you are. And there's all these different quizzes and games you can play. So it's like an interactive book made for friends to get together and cook.
I am definitely Regina George. Your energy is infectious.
What?
I know you're so busy, Jonathan.
What? I'm so busy.
But before I let you go, I heard you have a fun announcement to make.
Guys, I have a really good announcement. All right, ready? Is this thing on?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I shouldn't do it into this microphone because you won't be able to hear me. Okay, got it. Yes, I am announcing today that I am the official host for Times Square New Year's Eve.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's
yes,
huge.
I'm so excited. So I will be hosting Times Square New Year's Eve. If you are here for the ball drop in Times Square, you'll be able to watch me live on all the jumbotrons in Times Square. And also, if you want to watch along at home, it's tsq.org, which is basically the place to watch if you want to watch New Year's Eve. That's the number one place to watch the ball drop is at tsq.org.
Okay.
Because it's not the broadcast. I mean, the broadcasts are great, but this is like kind of a little more real time, and there's no interruptions.
Will there be cake?
There will be cake. We're going to make it rain cakes in Times Square. Could you imagine everyone covered in cake?
Yes,
that'd be great.
Is the dream. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
My best friend.
You're a doll.
Watch Holiday Wars Sunday night at 9, 8 Central on Food Network. Stay tuned after the break. We're going to be hitting you with some more retro reality realness. Don't go anywhere. So I get paid the big bucks. That marks the end of this lovely Wednesday at Reality Check. Big thanks to Dolores, Paulie, Jonathan Bennett, and our very own Dave Quinn. Make sure you're following @People on Twitter so you can catch the latest episode of Reality Check, which streams Monday through Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. To wrap out our show, here's a retro Kardashian clip that will have you laughing pretty hard. I'm Daryn Carp, and that was your Reality Check.
I know I probably shouldn't do this. If I put one little pill in his coffee, what's the harm?
In this 2009 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kris is trying to spice up her sex life with her husband by spiking their coffee with a little blue pill.
Good morning. Hey, how's it going?
Here, honey, here's your coffee.
Okay.
But when Rob accidentally drinks the dosed Joe, he's in for a rude awakening.
So I wake up from a nap and my penis is. I haven't had an erection problem since I was in middle school.
Confused and understandably concerned, Rob rushes to the doctor. The family soon joins him and eventually Chris comes clean.
I think that he might have accidentally drank some coffee that I had intended for you to drink.
Rob's spiked coffee is one of the great moments in reality history, and thankfully, Rob fully recovered while Chris learned a hard lesson.
You are a smart lady, okay?
Yeah.
But sometimes you do the dumbest